Now, and we can go, and we want one of them clapper boards, don't we? And
we need it.
action.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Action.
Action. Right. Hello. Welcome.
Take 17.
I've just got distracted there because I saw myself on my phone. I thought, what's that? Oh, right.
You know, when they put an animal in front of a mirror to see
On
how
your
they act.
school report, it said easily distracted.
Yeah, easily distracted. Okay. Yeah, good evening. Welcome. It's Monday night. It's live stream night from eModels, emodels.co.uk. It's me, Ted, Foxx, Chris, Colin, and I. Yes, that's all of us. Yes, we're all here for a Monday night of mayhem and mirth and merriment and doing all the things that we usually do. We'll talk about 80s TV, 70s TV, food, what's in the belly, what's in the bench, and other things. Yes, we will. Yeah, that's it. Now,
We just leave Ted to it.
yeah. Sorry, I received a very nice present through the post this morning, but that's another matter. But thank you, Dad.
Have you had some use of it, Ted? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I must say I've tried most of it out. Yeah, so tonight could
Checked
be
it for
rather.
quality.
Tonight could be rather interesting. But in the meantime, while I go and get a drink, we'll go over to Foxx for the terms and conditions, and then we'll tell you all about what we're going to do tonight, because tonight's a little bit different. Tonight, as usual, it's your show. Go tell them about it.
Oh, I've got to do that, have I? Okay. Yes, welcome everyone. It's the usual Monday night show. It is your show. We depend on you guys in chat. Have we got chat on the screen, Chris? We haven't, have we?
No, the chat's not working anymore.
Yeah. Yes, it's your show. If you're watching this and you can't see any live chat, it should be off to the side of the video. We want you to join in the live chat because we hang out with you guys. This is all about hanging out with you guys and having a good time. If you're watching this and you can see the live chat, join in, say hello. If you can't see the live chat, just hit the YouTube icon at the bottom of the YouTube screen underneath the video player, and that will take you magically take you to the YouTube page where you can watch the video and join in the live chat at the same time. If you're on a mobile device like a tablet or even a phablet or a phone, you could have a phablet, I don't know. You can just scroll down below the video. Sometimes it's down underneath and you can find it down there. So, yeah, we want to join in the chat. It's good fun. It's silly nonsense. And just come and say hello, if nothing else. Tonight we're going to do something a bit different because none of us had any plans at all or any ideas, and we kind of buffed it a bit. So we're stuck for ideas. So we're going to do an AMA, a Reddit AMA, but without Reddit and not really an AMA. We're going to do Ask Me Anything. Basically, ask us any question you want tonight. It doesn't have to be about model making. The less model making questions, the better. But it can be anything at all. Ask any of us, one of us, all of us, any questions you want, and we'll do our best to answer them. No politics, no religion, please, obviously. And we're not giving out any personal information.
Yeah, I did sign in, and Foxx says, Ted, have you done the nostalgia bit for tonight? Huh?
Oh, yeah. So we're handing it over to you guys to ask us questions about anything you want. It can be model making if you want, but that's, anything else would equally fine. And if you're wondering about the hat, I've decided I'm going to do a different hat every week because why not? This is silly nonsense. I'm not going to wear the same hat every week because that's boring. I'm going to wear a different hat. Some are rubbish, some are great, and some are silly.
But do you realise that you'll wear a hat and somebody says, you wore that on the 13th of October, 1920?
I'll get my silly hats ribbit counted. Yes, I know this.
No.
I've not got that many hats. It's only a small number of hats.
And this will last a month then.
And I have to say this, Chris bought me this hat as a joke. So.
No, not a joke. I knew you'd love it.
It's fabulous, darling. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it did say kiss me quick when he first got it, but nobody wanted to.
It says, there's a snake in my boot.
Right. Before too many people get in, because there's quite a lot of people coming in tonight, I noticed.
Oh, Ted, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, if you're putting comments in chat, and we've got the chat in front of us, if you want to get our attention, we're all old, and our iPads and tablets are all a long way, and Ted's on his phone, which is this big. So he's got like a telescope to read the chat.
I went and take my glasses off. I can't even see the phone. Never mind what's written on it.
So if you want to get our attention, please put your comment in big fat capital letters, or as Ted would call it,
bold.
Yeah, put them in big fat capital letters. Or if you really want us to not have any way to miss your comment at all, there's the top.
Bold.
Ted's head doing the Action Man hair there. Look at it.
Oh, how much of that whiskey did you have?
All of it.
All of it.
So yeah, put your comment in bold, or if you want to, you can do a super chat, which is the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window, which puts a coloured box around your comment, and we can't miss it. Bold.
I'll start then, shall I? I
Okay,
shall
counters
start
are
doing the
available.
people that are here. Looking through the live chat, the first one I see in is Model Making Trucker, which is Lewis, saying hi all. Then we have Festa 67's Workshop, which is Colin. Then we have Redlin08 and Dexterous Crafter, which is Mrs. Lewis, that's Nat.
Right. I didn't twig who
You
that
didn't
was.
twig. It's only been a week. She's got a new channel. They both got new channels.
We've only been mentioning it every time, Ted, in every comment, in every stream.
Right, nipping through as quickly as I possibly can. We also have Eric, Sarah Jane, me, Foxx, Candygram for Mongo, Andy, Zadstar, Mark. Names I've already said. Dad is in.
You use the word quickly, don't you, a minute ago?
When I say quickly, but they're all the same names, so I can't just read them all because that gets really boring. Dexterous Crafter, Candygram from Mongo, Dexterous Crafter, Athel, Dad, Athel, Brian Windmill. Hello, Brian Windmill.
Windmill.
I shall nip through all of them as quickly as possible. Athel's got a bad finger. He cut it while he was cleaning up some sprues, so we'll feel sorry for Athel. Andy, Athel, Dexterous, Gross, Sarah Jane, Athel, Dead, Gross. No, Non-C is here, or Non-Sci. I don't know. I don't know which one. But welcome. Clarky, Andrew, Andy, Clarky, Andrew, Athel, Andy. They all start with A. It's all just confused me. I'm sure it is. Crafter, Andy, Andrew, Clarky, Quanoman, Osric, Paul, Clarky, Dexterous, Quanoman, Dexterous, Tim, Dexterous, AJ, Tim, Edward, Dexterous, Athel, Paul, Angus, Beyond Hope.
Sorry, there's a smudge on the screen. It's gone now.
Is that what you jammed your nose against it earlier on?
Anders and Sarah Jane, Tim Young, Stephen Hill Harris. I haven't seen that before. Gemma Williams is here as well. So you kill them spiders, did you? Yeah, good. Peter Diamond, Beyond Hope, James McIntyre, Swicking Pig, Anders again, Wayne, Graham, Jamie, Lee, Kitchen Table Modeler, Dave, Stephen Last, Ian Thompson, Edward Andrew, I've already read out. Other names I've already read out. Liquid Len, Andy M, Philip
Len.
Prime, Liquid Len, yeah.
You said Liquid Len.
Liquid, as in not solid. Yeah.
Liquid Len.
Michael Jackman is here. Zadster, I'm pretty sure I've already said. Kendrick, Anders, Phil, Zadster, Swigging Pig, Lee, Ian, Andy's Andy, Osric, Zadster, Andy, Lee, Model Making Haggis.
Haggis.
Scott is in from Orkney.
Orkney.
Not the Orkneys. No, we wouldn't say that. Ted might say that, but I wouldn't say
It's Orkney, that suburb of London, Ted. Orkney, you are right.
Killer Chief 187.
He lives in the Orkneys.
And that's everybody. So hello, everybody, and welcome. That's my bit done, so I'll go back to sleep for a little while now. See you later.
I tried to keep up to see if you've missed anybody, Chris, but I have no idea where you were.
Anders was asking if you got a mirror behind you because he can see the back of your head, but I think it's your phone, Chris, on the boom arm.
Oh, is it being all mirrory?
Yeah, it's reflecting the back of your canister, mate.
We can see all the secret tabs you've got open on
No,
your browser. all those accounts folders.
Right. Yeah, so if we did miss anybody, or if Chris did miss anybody out, it's not intentional, but good evening to you anyway, and welcome, and bring a friend.
Yeah, very important news. Andy McLeish says, I know what day of the week it is. The bins go out. And I'm thinking, bugger, I've not brought the bins back in.
No, they go out tomorrow.
No, they go out yesterday, and I've not brought them back in.
Tomorrow. Quano Man's asking, when does Foxx get the Dolly Parton wig to go with his sexy hat?
See, boy.
Yeah, and the Daisy Dukes. So we talk about Daisy Dukes.
Don't even
that image of Lemmy then has just sprung into my mind.
We have our first AMA question from Osric9000. Says, question, do you like smells? I'll do a round robin. Do you like smells, gentlemen?
What? Hey?
Do you like smells?
Smells.
Smells. Do you like smells? That's the question from Osric. Do you like smells?
Some of them.
Some of them. It depends what. It depends. It depends. It depends who it is.
not what it is, but who it is.
I'm just confused now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if
we
it's
did ask him for
if
any
it's
questions.
Beckton sewage plant, then no.
We did ask him for questions about anything, so we can only expect shenanigans for the next 2 hours.
I would think that's probably quite likely, yes.
Yeah, this morning I was getting the aroma of sherry and junipers and walking through russet-filled cornfields with primroses and dandelions. And
Did you wake up face planting in the minibar again, Ted? Is that what you did?
You're brewing slow gin again, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's not that slow.
Yeah, I can always catch it.
Tim Young says, AMA question number 1, or it's actually number 2. Is it Hello Kitty or Miss Kitty? It's Hello Kitty.
Mm.
I think Ted has enjoyed the Highland Park, says Scott Sutherland.
Yes, yeah. Somebody's been watching. Been watching my Facebook page anyway.
Yeah, somebody sent Ted a very nice gift.
Dexterous Crafter says, on Sunday we didn't think you knew who Dexterous Crafter was, Ted. So, yes, that'd be yesterday. Ted didn't know who anybody was, yeah.
And right now, Ted doesn't care who anybody is.
Selfish is asking the same question. Says, Fox, does it say Andy on the sole of your shoe?
I've got to tell you, because this hat is like some kind of foam. It really doesn't breathe. I'm getting a bit moist up top.
Are we cooking under there? You chose it.
It was sent to me. I can't get rid of it. It was a gift. I'm stuck with it.
I think
It's not foam, but it's some kind of foamy type stuff.
You can't get rid of it, but I will allow you to poke some holes in the top if it will let you.
You chose to wear it tonight.
Yeah, I think after tonight he might divide his hats into.
Yeah, I think the normal hat will be back next week.
Yeah. The next week's hat will be a knotted handkerchief.
Yeah, it'll be that idea I had. Nah.
Right. Well, we've got a bit of a lull for us. We'll go across to Col to do Fester's factoid. Oh, we can't
Absolutely, I remembered as well. I've got 2 Fester's factoids.
Look at the value for money you're getting tonight.
Oh, absolutely. You know.
Just so everybody knows, now Colin's got his new PC, you get Fastest Factoids and Death of the Day at 30 frames a second.
I know, scary, isn't it? And yeah, I am this bald. Our first factoid on this very day in 1991, the first Briton into space, Ellen Sharman, launched with 2 cosmonauts in a Soyuz spacecraft.
We demand the names of the cosmonauts.
No idea, it doesn't tell me. I don't know, mate.
You
Because
didn't
I
plan
didn't
that
do
one,
my
did you?
research, did I? And also on this day in 1980, God, I feel old, following a week-long series of earthquakes and smaller explosions of ash and smoke, the long-dormant Mount St. Helens volcano erupted in Washington state. It hurled ash 15,000 feet into the air and set off a series of mudslides. 1980, that was. Ding dong.
Oh, you need to, well, yeah, Ellen Sharman, no, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm like, dear, oh dear. And, yeah, we got a couple of deaths for you and all.
Twofers, a 2-2, it's a double twofer.
Oh, it's a double whammy. This could turn into a let's mock Colin moment, but I'm going to have a go anyway.
What a shot.
Please tell me they're Russians or Germans or Polish
Yeah,
or
if
something.
TK's in, mate, I'm really sorry, but this bloke's Dutch. So,
Oh,
yeah.
here we go.
Edward Jan House.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what his mother says.
Died on the 18th of May 1949. Everyone's going to Google that now and go, what did he say his name is?
Colin, how the hell is anybody going to Google it?
Yeah, I mean, Edward Jan. Do you want me to spell it?
I don't even think so.
Say
Yeah,
it
I don't think Google spell check's going to throw
Yeah,
that one.
DIJKSTERHUIS. Digisterius.
TK has just come in.
Yeah, he died on this very day, 1965, at the age of 72, and he was a Dutch science historian.
And we
got another one.
Oh.
Yeah, this bloke's French. I'm doing well. Philippe Jean Bonal Varilla died on the 18th of May 1940 at the age of 80, and he was a French engineer who was an early advocate of the building of a canal across the Isthmus of Panama and chief organizer of the project. All I can see is Foxx sniggering. Oh yeah,
It's when you're reading it out because you go like this. It looks like you've got a screen that's like about 30 feet across.
I have. I've got it in a letterbox right across above all your photos so that I don't keep looking over there. So.
Oh, there's a thing over there. I love it. I love it.
It's like, yeah, I'm easily distracted, mate. So yeah, 2 deaths, I'm afraid.
God bless him and all who's sailing him.
Absolutely, mate.
Yes.
Apologies for my bad Dutch, TK. But
Sorry, what was that Dutch name again? Just so I can try and Google search it.
Edward Jan Dijkasterius.
Oh, I'm going to have to play this back with the auto subtitles on, aren't I?
What gets me is he picks them himself.
I know.
Yeah, he does it to himself. He's only got himself to blame.
People expect it though, because if I just say Dave Smith, it's just you know.
Colin knows that if he did like just 2 British engineers or something, everybody just stopped subscribing.
I mean, I'm scrolling up, looking at the people that died, and every single one of them's got a tongue twister as a name. It's like, really?
Perhaps that will become a Google search theme, Fester's deaths.
Deaths.
Yeah, so we can get Google to find what Fester actually said.
just try watching it back with auto subtitles and see what happens.
There are a couple of other people popped in. We have, of course, got Screwfish in, and Zadster and Speedy Q8 also here as well now. So welcome to you all.
Phil Lewis has just thrown a dad joke in chat for We Must Be Desperate. He says, I made friends with the spider today. Turns out he was a web developer.
Hey!
I've totally lost track of where we're at.
Phil Lewis is saying the bloke died from the strain of me trying to pronounce his name.
He died of a misspelled youth.
Yeah. Anders says, normally I can understand Colin's accent, but now I really struggle.
I did have someone suggest to me that I should play one of my videos back with subtitles on just to see what it does.
Oh, yeah, have you tried that? Yeah, when you sat maybe on the train or something, you're watching YouTube, and you get it particularly does it when you're giving on the previews, doesn't it? And it sort of preempts the text or the speech.
Yeah.
And it puts some weird stuff.
TK challenges you and says, "Oh, Edward Jan Dijksterhuis, not that hard of a name."
So yeah, there you go. That's the very man. I mean, I've had to turn Siri off on the iPhone because it just gets confused.
Well, I think as we're down at the bottom of the chat and all the chat's whizzed all the way up, it's now time for Ask Us a Question. We'll take it from here on in. Rather than try to scroll back and finding out all the questions, if you did put a question in and we missed it, just type it again and we'll try and pick it back up.
Yeah. So. Remember to put your comments, so you put your specific questions in either capital letters or use the super chat to get a colour box so we don't.
Anders is asking in the chat, guys, how are things with James and the other folks at eModels?
I actually put an order into eModels the other day for some stuff for the Titanic, and I think they're now down to giving a 5-day turnaround time, 5-day delivery time. So I think it's come down. Well, it's certainly come down quite a lot from 30 days. So I think they're gradually catching up. But don't hold out much hope. The guys are hoping to get it to you within 5 days. But once it leaves the store, it's down to what the couriers and the post and everybody else do with it and how they prioritise it to getting delivered. But they're still open and sort of open for orders. We're still not doing a what's in store, so we're just carrying on with what we do on a Monday night without that.
Yeah, do keep in mind, of course, they'll see Ted's name pop up and know he's doing the Titanic for them, so they might have pushed it a bit forward. So,
yeah.
Paul Lyons has got an AMA question. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done?
Yeah, that's not getting answered.
Yeah, that's not going to get.
I don't get embarrassed. I just go with it.
You just destroy the negative.
How far can we go in a family show, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not going to answer that.
You don't find though that it's always them embarrassing moments that when you sat quietly and something, it'll suddenly pop up in the brain.
When you just drop it off to sleep.
Yeah.
Paul Horner says, following the news that the loss of sense of smell is down to the chocolate velociraptor, he's got into the habit of sniffing the ultra thin. All clear so far, but a bit lightheaded.
All clear so far, but I can speak to trees. I can smell France.
Colin, I saw something. Oh, there you go. Beyond Hope has put a message in for you, Colin.
Oh, was he? I'll just scroll up then. Oh, that's not nice. You rotter. No.
What does he say, Colin? Because we can't see chat suddenly for some reason.
Yeah, cheers, Fox.
I've suddenly got my screen's just gone blue.
The two Soviet cosmonauts were Sergei Konstantinovich
Ooh.
and Krikalev and Anatoly Arsbarsky. Arsbarsky even.
The answer is beyond hope. No, we can't say without laughing.
No.
Yeah. Apologies for my use of the word Harris.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Nobody's in the mirror. Have you fixed it? No, Chris. Chris is doing the streaming, and he's got a button on his camera that makes it flip it the right way around for you.
Yes,
guys.
I've been able to adjust things and tweak and make things non-mirrored. So yeah.
Yeah, he's backwards to us. Stephen Hill Harris says, "I have a bottle of Vallejo Glaze Medium and Matte Medium. What are they for, and how do I use them?" They're basically the same thing. They are. It's basically paint without any color in it. You use them to make glazes, to make very thin, transparent colors.
I was going to say it's almost like a varnish, really, but without.
Would they be any good for pigment powders? You know, fixed pigment powders. Yeah.
It's basically like Citadel's got the Larmian medium. They're the same as Larmian. It's basically a paint with no color in it. So if you apply it, it's not a varnish. If you apply it as it is, you just put in a transparent matte layer. So if you've got something shiny and you paint matte medium over it, it makes it matte. But it's not a varnish. It's not protecting it. But if you wanted to, if you've got something, say, let's say this was white, and I wanted to give it a very, very slight tint of yellow, I'd take some glaze medium or some matte medium, it's the same thing. I'd add the smallest amount of yellow to it, like a tiny molecule of yellow, and that will make a transparent yellow because there's very little pigment. And then I paint it all over, and it would have a tint of yellow. So you can use it to make glazes and very fine.
Yeah, glazes, filters, that sort of thing. Yeah.
If you don't want to make a wash, if you just thin paint down and wash it on, it's not going to behave like paint. If you want the paint to go on like paint, but be very transparent, you use it to make a transparent glaze. That's what it's for. Or you can just, sometimes if I've got a little figure and I've got some of it needs to be shiny and some of it needs to be matte, what I'll tend to do is paint the whole figure, gloss varnish the whole thing, and then the bits that I want to be matte, I'll paint with matte medium, just brush the matte medium over it. So that way it's varnished. The varnish is protecting it, but the matte medium makes some of it not shiny. So just think of it as paint with no pigment, and you can add colour to it, or just use it to matte a colour down if you want to.
Yeah, that's it. Right, yeah. So just remember, your questions could be about anything at all tonight.
Yep.
So
no politics, no religion, and something we can discuss on the fam. We're not going to tell you our most embarrassing.
Yeah, we don't do sport either.
Yeah.
Ian Thompson asks, "What's the oldest model you've got, made or not?" Now, do you mean the one that we've had the longest, or the one that dates back from an earlier time? Because the oldest kit I've got is one I was given by somebody, which is like from the 80s. I haven't had it that long, but it's from that sort of time frame. So is that the oldest, or
what is it? What is it? Do both.
It's a plain. I can't remember. I think it's an old Airfix kit of a 747 type plane, but a smaller version, but in 144, because he knew I like 144, so he let me have it.
We'll do both. Do the oldest kit you've got, and what was the other option? One is the one that was the oldest, and the other one is.
Well, I don't know if he means the oldest, as in the one you've had for the longest.
Do both.
Or the one that's the oldest from oldest. I don't know which kit I've had for the longest. I've got a couple of older Bandai Star Wars kits that aren't 144, so I sort of drifted away from doing them, but still kept them because I'm sure I'll do them at some point. But
the oldest kit I've got that's made is a radio control boat that's in a big box under the storage at the back here. After that, I don't have anything particularly old or ancient or sort of antiques roadshowish. No, that's about it. That the Sentinel, the boat back there that has been made an appearance on the live stream at times, that must, I think, be about from the 90s.
You've got some old Tamiya kits, haven't you, Ted? As in, like, some of their tanks are like 40 years old now, those kits.
Oh yeah, I've something like that's AFV.
Yeah, but 40 years old isn't old for Ted.
Yeah,
No, it's a mere child moment in Ted.
yeah, this old paint pig, the what is it?
Tank.
Tank.
Massive big tank.
Chieftain tank. Yeah, that's ancient, isn't it, from Tamiya?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it when Tamiya made it.
That was in shoplifting days, was it, Ted?
Yeah. Yeah, I found it in my basket.
Yeah. My oldest, as in age, would be in the loft. I have a 1980s. I guess it's whatever year the film came out. Star Trek Voyage Home Enterprise A, that I have no intention of even beginning to start to build ever, because it's got the raised Aztec panels. So I'm not. It's just not gonna. I'm just not happening ever. But that's about what 1982, 3, I think, something like that. It's upstairs in the loft. And the oldest model I have is I've got 2 little German infantry dudes that were from a German infantry at rest set from Tamiya. They're kind of the guys you can get the field kitchen set, and you can get the little group of dudes like with whatever. And one of them has got a loaf of bread, and he's going. He's got this really gormless grin. He's like, yeah. And
Well, if you had a loaf of bread, you'd be happy.
That's true. And the other one, he stood there. He's got a canteen in his hand, and he's eating obviously something from the canteen. So he's got a spoon in one hand and his canteen in the other. And I was about 14 when I made them, and I even got little bits of plastic card to put the straps on the helmets and stuff, so it looked like they were just chilling out. So one stood there with his loaf, and one stood there with his soup spoon and his canteen. They're the 2 oldest ones I've got.
Yeah, don't you think they both got together? The guy with the soup and the guy with the bread. They got together, and he could have dipped his bread in.
Yeah, they might hate each other. I've also got the World War II, the SAS Jeep as well, which is probably like less old by about 3 months or something. So there's the 2 there, the only 2 kits I've got from my youth, basically.
Yeah, I've got an original Airfix pontoon bridge set, and the oldest one built would be the Matchbox Barry Sheen World Championship bike. That was very early 80s, so yeah.
That pontoon set. Somebody showed me a photograph of I've got the Bandai Falcon to do for eModels, and I was looking at the texture on the inside of the mandibles.
Yeah.
1/72 scale. And I said somewhere, that looks like the old Airfix pontoon bridge. And somebody said it was on the filming miniature, on the studio model, it was the actual base floor plate.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, I identified agreeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pontoon bridge is a legendary Greeble.
Oh
set.
yeah, many a person. I mean, I originally was going to use it to do the ramp upside down for Thunderbird too.
Yeah.
And then I saw how much they were going for on the auction sites, and I was like, I'll just keep that and just print one.
Well, they re-released it, didn't they, like a couple of years ago? Yeah. But if anybody watches like British sci-fi from the 70s and 80s, a lot of the models and things used in low-budget British sci-fi, and even not low-budget stuff, and even American stuff, it was either the sides of the pontoon bridge or the floor plates, which had that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at the amount of tank parts that pop up on sci-fi vehicles and studio models. You know.
Oh yeah.
Right, the next demo was what have you never seen in a diorama but would love to see?
Ooh.
Don't know, I can't think of anything.
I can't think.
I would love to see. I love it when people do like explosions, because they do like all the cotton and stuff and the lights. I'd love to see someone do a depth charge explosion.
I've seen that.
I've
seen one on a submarine build.
Okay, that's rubbish.
Yeah, a Japanese guy did it, unless it was a torpedo shot. But yeah.
I did see. Well, in that case, that's a really rubbish choice. I'll think of something else then, because if it's
just Google it, then you can see it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
very exciting choice.
If you think about it, somebody's already done it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. What about you guys?
I don't know really. I mean, it was something like the wreck of the Titanic and that, but I think some of the Japanese guys have tackled that one where they've done the Titanic as a wreck with the little RV with the light and the underwater, stuff like that appeals to me. And anything unusual, really.
Yeah, I think I know that some companies do kits of aircraft interiors, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any sort of sectional interiors of like tanks or armored fighting vehicles, things like that. Just
Mm.
specifically say the driving seat in a tank or the gunner's position in a tank.
Yeah. Super scaled up or something with
Oh,
everything.
you mean like you can
Mm.
get kits of like ejector seats and stuff like that, can't you? You can
Yeah.
get one 12th scale cockpits and stuff. I know what you mean. Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
Some of that could be good.
Stefan Last says, if you could have a kit manufacturer make a kit of anything you wish, what would it be? I've not got
Tactical
anything that.
Tactical
Okay.
droid. Tactical droid.
I thought you might have said that, but no.
Yeah.
I haven't
I'd
got
like to make
anything
a
that I
tactical
really want to build like that, so no, I can't help you with that one either.
My Opel Monza, but I might have a cunning plan for that.
a cunning plan. People are actually answering questions in the chat as well, which is fine. Philip Buck says the oldest is a Matchbox F86 Sabre.
Oh.
Foxx was at the Tamiya German soldiers at rest. Emma just built that today, says Tim Young. I'll ask her to put up a picture. I think it was, but I'm going back to the late 80s to remember it. But there literally is one guy with a canteen like this.
Yeah.
And one guy with a loaf going.
Yeah.
And there was some
Beyond Hope saying, yeah, it was a torpedo on that submarine. It was a 3-foot long resin box. Gorgeous built, though. It was, mate. Spectacular.
Dexterous Crafter says, I like these MA questions. Get your questions coming in, folks. It doesn't have to be about model making, but can be about anything you want, as long as it's not religion or politics or anything embarrassing. We'll answer any questions tonight. Dexterous Crafter says, which kit do you most regret buying?
Ooh, probably the last one up.
The trumpeter you bet. You didn't buy that one.
Whatever it was the last one, because the one that you finish it and then you think, well, thank God that's over. On with the next one. So yeah, and you look forward to the next one, and then you think, wow, thank God that's over, and on with the next one. That's what I think anyway.
I don't think I really regret any kits, but I know Fox is going to say he regrets picking up that tank from eModels.
Yeah, right field tank.
Well,
yeah,
no, because I didn't have to build it, did I? So it was great. Again, with Chris, I don't really regret any tanks. Any tanks. Don't regret any tanks. The only one I'd say, kind of twisted it round a bit. I suppose regret because I only spent £7 on it, but I got the FX 1/72 scale Junkers JU52, and I opened it up and was like, "This is absolute garbage." The clear canopy was frosted.
Yeah.
And was just a frosted piece of garbage, and everything was. I'm like, that's just going into the parts bin now. I'm not even going to bother making it because it was like 50 years old. It was only £7. I don't really regret. I don't think I actually regret any. Death Corps of Krieg 10 infantry firing. That's what I regret buying. Forge World Death Corps of Krieg 10 infantry firing. I regret that. The arms.
Yeah. Is that everyone?
You've got one yet, Ted? Or Cole?
I thought it would be the 124 Huey, but I've kind of fell in love with it. I would say Ed Force 1, but that would cheer Dad up, and I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. The worst one was the shuttle, the 144 scale shuttle and booster set. That was a bit of a pup.
Yeah, that was fun, but yeah.
Going back to what I said, I suppose talking about a different genre of boat. I think one of the different genre of modelling. One of the things that I did sort of regret building was the Bluebird, the Donald Campbell's Bluebird, because that was vac form. That was vac form, and if you can build with vac form, you can build anything.
Yeah,
it was horrible. But glad it was done, got out of the way. So yeah, well, that one springs to mind now.
Mark Scope says, answering the kit of if you could have a kit of anything, he said it's got to be the spaceship from the last Starfighter. Oh yeah,
that would be a good one to build.
What was it called? The Flower or something or other?
Gunstar.
Gunstar. That's it. I don't know why I said flower. Because the weapon was a flower. Something. It was like a.
That was the name of the ultimate weapon or something, wasn't it? Something about flower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zasta says the oldest he has is an Aurora model from the late 1970s. And Michael Jackman says, oldest kit he's got is a 177 Matchbox Supermarine Walrus float plane.
Oh my
The oldest
god.
on display is my Tamiya 1350 KGV built 1990, now in Roxham Miniature Worlds. Cool.
Beyond Hope has an AMA, a non-model making AMA,
Ooh.
and one that we might be able to answer.
Oh, God.
They say, what was your best and worst subject at school?
I think mine's pretty obvious, isn't it? English.
Elocution was your worst.
Yeah. You do not spell with W-I-V. Ah, okay.
I didn't like languages at all. French was just, no. I hated doing French. My favourite was probably maths. I wasn't the best at it, but I liked it. It was quite good. Maths and physics were my favourite two subjects. And definitely French was,
Pour moi, le français, ce n'est pas un problème. C'est très facile.
I'm a bit like Chris, I think. I didn't like languages at school, although I did try to go to night school after I left school to learn German. I think what we used to do was when we used to all get on the bus and go to the language lab, which was just a classroom full of desks with headphones on. And I just used to sit there quietly listening for the click of the
teacher listening in.
So the teachers listening in and would try and practice a little bit, then go quiet again. So
I've got to be honest, Ted, if I was learning German in a language lab, I'd still want it to go, écoutez et répétez. Because that's what we had the language lab at school, and the French, it was always like, écoutez.
Yeah, John Paul and Marie France, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Bertillon family.
Yeah.
And it was always like, le singe est sur l'arbre. Boop. And
your German needs work, Fox.
I know.
Yeah.
If you took your headphones
Rubbish, mate.
If you took your headphones off, all you could hear in the language lab was just all these kids sitting there. You go boop, boop in the headphones non-stop.
Yeah, I mean, you probably noticed, but I was a bit shoddy at languages, but I loved art and technical drawing, so...
I kind of hated school from start to finish. It bored me. So I hate maths. Is my worst. I'm an arty-farty faggy-ass artist. I'm not mathematical at all. Maths I hated.
I think generally at school I just used to mess around and not get anything done. I used to look busy but not achieve anything. Like in woodwork, I convinced the woodwork teacher that I needed to build an emery board. Why do you want to build an emery board? He would say, because my dad needs one.
Yeah.
And all it was a plain piece of wood with some sandpaper stuck on the top of it.
Well, I mean, me being all arty-farty, you think I loved art, but I actually didn't enjoy art at all because our art teacher was rubbish. I did enjoy, though, strangely enough, geology. I actually enjoyed geology. I really liked that subject. I don't know why. It tickled me.
We didn't do anything as technical as geology, geography. In French, I think the French lesson was all about wine and regions of Bordeaux. And at that time, when I was at school, we'd never seen a bottle of wine. Never mind knew where one come from.
Yeah, if it was about gin, you'd have been much happier.
Yeah,
it would have stuck, wouldn't it? I seem to remember. I've got a vague memory that when we did our French books, one of our textbooks was Le Français aujourd'hui, which is like French today, and it had this fictional family called the Bertillon family, and there was occasionally like a story, like you had to read a comprehension story, and it was always like about like bank robbers or something. And for some reason, the bank robbers always drove a Reliant Scimitar. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But you remember, like in the 60s here, the bad guys always drove like a Ford Zephyr.
Yeah.
In France, in the 80s, apparently bad guys drove Reliant Scimitars.
Yeah. Good choice.
No. However, our RE teacher, when we did RE from doing RE, our RE teacher was a mad enthusiast on the Second World War. So you know where this conversation is going. Sir, could you just tell me about the Nazis in 1942? What happened between? And he would spend a whole lesson telling you about the Second World War and vehicles and things like that. So yeah, once again, we just worked our way through doing nothing. So,
Angus Albert is trying to give Speedy Curate a coronary here, or an embolism, because he says, question is, what's your favourite brand of coffee? and we're all gonna list instant coffees, and Speed's gonna hate all of us.
I'm not. I don't drink coffee much, so
No,
I don't have a
same here,
favourite.
mate. Don't drink it.
I like Darregbert's Gold. Actually, I really really like it.
Is Costa a brand? Is that what it means?
No,
They probably make their own, don't they? They can get and buy it.
Speedy Curate's just going around in circles now, spinning violently on the Ashley's axis.
He's just like, it's got to be a southern thing, isn't it? It's like that. We don't do coffee, do we, Chris?
No.
Philip Buck's got a kit he regrets was the ICM ME109. Oh my god, it was terrible, 148 scale. We'll try and read, by the way, folks, we will try and read out, if you've been answering the questions as well, we'll try and read some. We can't read all of them out because we'll be here all night. But we'll probably pick and choose. So if you've said something that you did and we haven't responded to it, it's more just for you guys to have fun in chat, but we'll pick a few out at random, but we won't read everything, so I do apologise.
Yeah, I think someone put in there about the 124th Spitfire from Airfix being a bit of a minger as well.
Dave Cardboard wins the internet tonight. He says, I regret buying the Wonder Woman airplane kit. I still can't find it after I painted it.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't somebody on Facebook the other day trying to. They'd made a diorama. They just got one of those runway type bases and then painted a shadow on it and put Wonder Woman on it.
Yeah, I saw there was a guy. It was somebody who put a series of pictures up with his kids, and basically it was a Wonder Woman Lego Wonder Woman jet fighter. And he had one thing was a photograph of just a desk with Lego Wonder Woman about a foot off the table. The next thing was a shot of the instruction book, and it was just it was proper instructions like Lego, but there was nothing actually in each of the panels. And then on the front of the box, it was a proper mocked up Lego box with all the relevant age and stuff on it, and there was just nothing on it, just clouds. And I'm like, oh, this guy's a genius. He roped his kids into it as well.
Philly says, who or what do you credit with your biggest improvement in building and painting kits? And I misread it. I thought it was asking for credit card information. But when we said anything, we didn't quite mean anything. But yeah. Biggest improvement in painting and building kits is going to be all gushy now. It's going to be Foxx.
No, I want to be daft. I'm not trying anybody.
He's the one that got me back into building stuff.
Yeah. Foxx, Tony and Ted. And Chris, of course,
Yeah, all I can say is YouTube. Yeah.
Gin is what you can say, Ted.
Yeah, YouTube and a mixture of gin.
For the model making,
you can't say yourself.
No, I'm not gonna say myself. For the serious stuff, I would say my big influence growing up was Shepherd Payne. Used to see his works in the Tamiya catalogues back in the 80s, and I was like, I want to paint like that, and I never could. And now you get older, you look back on them now, and you're like, oh, he's not that good. But yeah, Shepherd Payne, I used to love his work, and the last few years, I've got to throw some respect to Duncan from Games Workshop, from Warhammer TV, because it was watching his videos that got me into brush painting, and I was getting bored of model making. I was like been doing it for 4 or 5 years back in the hobby, and I was getting burnt out, and I saw that, and that started me doing brush painting, and that's completely re-energized me. And I'm learning how to brush paint now. So I'd say Shepherd Payne.
Another facet, isn't it? Because you were heavily known for your Gundam and Gunplers and things. Yeah. And
I was burning out.
It then put you on a different tangent. I mean, Tony got me back into the hobby and watching your stuff. Weathering, chipping, and all of that. It does make you improve, but YouTube definitely is wonderful.
I mean, it's not just Duncan. There's a few other people on there that you watch the stuff and you think, oh, that's just. It's not just it doesn't have to be some. When people say, I was influenced back into it by X, Y, or Z, it doesn't have to be somebody who's even good. It's just somebody who energizes you into doing it.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it was you.
Yeah, you don't have people aren't actually good.
It was mine, as I say, was Foxx. Philly says, me too, Chris. I got a kit on a whim and then found one of his videos. Exactly the same. I started doing the D'Agostini Falcon part work. But it wasn't anything to do with Foxx with that.
What episode was that, Chris?
No, it wasn't anything to do with that. It was even before the videos, I think. Because I knew that I didn't know how to do models and hadn't done them for years. Yeah, I picked up a Viper, Battlestar Galactica Viper. And then thought, I didn't know how to do this. I can follow the instructions, but I'm sure there must be a different way. And found Fox's build of the Viper. And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
Now you're probably much better than I was when I did my Viper. I actually went back and watched those videos, and I'm like, oh, dear God.
Now I'm probably going to sound really nostalgic and old hat here because my inspiration for model building was actually the Bob Symes.
Yeah.
That's as far back as I go.
Mm.
I do go that far back, and since between him and the internet starting, I just used to just get on with it, and learn my own way, teach myself things like that.
Mm.
And it wasn't until afterwards that the internet came along and YouTube and things like that, where I wouldn't say anybody influenced me, just sort of brought it to me that I could do things a different way. That was all, really. So
that's what I was saying. It's more just with the. I've got crap on my glasses. It's more just that it's not necessarily that people are brilliant and get you. It's more that there's so much enthusiasm on the internet that you watch YouTube and stuff, and it's hard to not be encouraged into working and doing stuff.
Oh yeah, another addictive person I find to watch is Adam Savage with his one-day builds and things like that.
There's lots of people on YouTube who I watch and adore, and you might look at their stuff and think, well, they're not very good, and it's like, doesn't matter, they've got a passion for it, and that's what makes it interesting.
That's it. It's the enthusiasm, and that's what I found with yours and Tony's stuff. It's that
rubbish, but we're
personality comes through, doesn't it? And you think, well, I can see what they're up to now. So
anyway, stop now. I'm uncomfortable now.
I know you are. That's why we're doing it, because we can see you squirt.
Yeah. Athol McNichol says to Ian Thompson, Nescafe original strength and best thing ever sought and bought too many to list about coffee. It's got to be Dab Egberts, mate. The worst coffee is that stuff you get from Aldi, the Alcaf or whatever. Oh, don't even go there.
So does that mean then, Fox, me and Chris have got to take our signed Fox photographs down now then?
Yeah. I'll tell you now, I never did butt prints, so I do paw prints, not butt prints. So it's not genuine for a start. Anders Ericsson said he was really bad at maths in school. His favourite was history and geography. I would have loved history at school if it hadn't all been Tudors and Stuarts and British Middle Ages royal family history.
We did the Wild West for one season.
We did all the different wars and. Excuse me, did all the different wars, global events, and things like that in history.
I would have, because as an adult now, I love history because it's interesting and it's not all Tudors and Stuarts. And all we got was king this and king that and queen, and it's like, and here's the Battle of blah, blah, and it's like, oh, God Almighty, I don't want to know. Talk to us about World War II. Talk to us about the Aztecs or whatever. It doesn't matter.
We didn't have history at school because we were still making it.
You didn't get history till colour came in, did you, Ted?
Yeah, everything was black and white.
Yeah, but how many days do you spend binge watching Discovery History and play programs like that? You're like, I want to go there.
Yeah. What part of history if you had a time machine, what part of history would you go back to? That's my AMA.
Can I only go backwards?
Yeah, can I go backwards?
Can I go to the future? Because I'd go to the future.
You can't go to the future. You've got to go backwards.
Oh, damn it.
I think I would go back to.
I'd go back to last Wednesday because that was really good.
I think I'd go back to the Roman times just to see how the engineering and things like that was, and they had some damn good parties.
Yeah, I'd want to go back just to see how they really did build the pyramids and Stonehenge and things like that.
I want to go back and see all of it.
Yeah. And go back to just before World War One, just to see if you could stop it.
Yeah. Well, just run in front of the car.
Yeah.
On the corner before. Brian Wimmel says, Fox, when is the next Falcon video coming? Hopefully this week.
Ooh.
TK says in the year 78, Ted got his first job.
Yep. That's in the pre-Greek. That's in the Roman calendar, not the Georgian Gregorian calendar. That's like 1,048 million. Dexterous Crafter says, when you were young, what were your dream jobs?
Spaceman. I want to be a spaceman. I still want to go to space. It'd be great. Spaceship.
When I was a kid, they were still talking about going to the moon.
When you were a kid, they didn't even have a word for the moon. I don't think I had a dream job because I hated every minute of school and I had no enthusiasm for leaving school, having to go and get a job because I was born lazy. I just wanted to get up and play with toys all day and then go to bed, or as I got older, get up and play video games. I didn't want to have a job, so I don't really have a dream job. Millionaire, lottery winner.
Yeah, we couldn't have dream jobs when I was a kid because when you were at school, you were sort of, you left school and because your dad was in the shipyard, you went in the shipyard. That was it. Yeah, you could have a choice of what trade you wanted to be, but you were expected to go in the shipyard.
Yeah, you didn't have a choice because you were up in Barrow, Ted. That's
that's all we had up here was just a shipyard.
Soldier, mate.
Shipyard, just there.
All I wanted to be was a soldier.
Question: favorite comic book? Mine was 2000 AD.
Tim Young says, "Don't stop World War One, because then there wouldn't be World War Two, and then there wouldn't be any kits. It'd just be planes and trains."
Car kits, yeah.
I was never really into comics when I was a kid, but when I grew up and become an adult with money and disposable income, I got into some stuff. And my favorite, not comic books, but my favorite sort of comic-y things were the Inspector Canardo stories by Benoit Sokal, a Belgian artist.
Oh, is that in the wrote Asterix the Goal?
No. Canardo is a noir alcoholic duck who solves mysteries, basically. It's like an adult comic strip, but Benoit Sokal.
When you say adult comic strip,
not like adult rude, not like Ted's accounts folder adult, not that kind of adult.
That leads into a question by Ian M.G. Thompson, who said, "What was your favourite comic book?"
That was in fact the question.
That was in fact the question that I just did, Ted.
I used to read them little Commando ones. Do you remember them? Where it was...
That was what I was going to say because that's what I read. Commando. It was Commando. What was the other one called?
The other one was the space one. I used to like that one, but not the Commando one.
I'm going to unhook myself for 1 minute.
Yeah, Commando used to have the little knife logo, didn't it, on the cover? And there was another one, but I can't think.
Yeah, I'm sure it was called. Was it called Battle?
Battle.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. There was another one that was the same sort of size, the same smaller magazine thing, but it was a science fiction one. I don't remember what it was called though, but it was. I had pretty much all of them.
Yeah, I remember I used to copy the artwork out of them. I think.
Yeah. The front covers on them were really well done, weren't they? And it was like,
yeah. The cover was actually used to be obviously made you buy the magazine, but it used to be better than the story inside.
Yeah.
I thought I actually had a new way.
Nevo's popped in the chat saying, "Evening, have I missed much?" Nah, we're just rambling as usual, mate.
Yeah. Tonight it's all about ask us a question.
I thought I actually had a Battle Action Comics book on the shelf out there. One of the old they were talking about the black and white Commando, but I don't know where it is. I thought it was on the shelf outside, but it's not.
Yeah, I was just saying where you sort of were deciding you were going to draw them yourself. That was where I got some of my art interest from because I used to copy the pictures out of them because they were all pencil or line drawings, really easy to copy.
They had a wonderful scratchy ink and pen and ink style to them.
Yeah.
And they had the worst pigeon German ever. Achtung, British pig dog.
Yeah, it was all Achtung Spitfire or Feuer der War is over.
Well, if a German was
Clarkie's asking a question, Fox, and I think we know your answer already. What film character would you delete from history?
Moving on, episode 6. Athelman Nichols says, Fox, Shepard Payne used to write books, which I still have in Modern Painting Skills Vallejo. Yeah, Shepard Payne he stopped. He was a legendary builder. He used to do little vignettes. He mastered the art of doing a box vignette, which is where you look at a model and you can only look at it from one direction because he's built the whole thing in a little. It's got a specific name, but I can't remember what it is. He did these little box vignettes, which is almost like a little diorama, but in a box with a port where you view it and you can only see it and it's all lit very carefully. But he just stopped. Apparently, I think he just stopped around about 1980 something. He just packed it in and stopped.
Is he the guy that did the Spitfire and the Hurricane, where you look through it and they're sort of in the air with the clouds behind them? And
no, he was American.
Not him.
He did a lot of figure painting and miniatures. He did a lot of like Revolutionary War figures. If you ever used to look at the Tamiya catalogs in the 80s, There was there were often things like modern day American armor, like various Abrams tanks and stuff, and you'd see them in the magazine, and it was often him that did them because he used to do a lot of work for like things like Tamiya catalogs. And when I used to get like some model making books, you'd always see work by Shepard Payne in there. So he was kind of a legendary model making figure, but he was kind of like the Bob Ross of his day, but model making. But he just kind of stopped.
Yeah,
did a lot of stuff for museums. It's worth looking him up. He was a masterful artist. Although his stuff looks a bit dated nowadays, but then he was a product of his time. He was using products that he
absolutely, yeah.
If he'd been around today, you can imagine what his work would have been like. But
where else
Philip Buck says, after watching some videos and you guys made me go back and buy kits, and Foxx got me buying my first airbrush set and compressor. Just think this eModels community is amazing. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what we're all about. We try to come here on Monday night, not specifically to talk about models, but just to get together and have a chin wag and guys in the pub, as we say.
Dad says Alta Rica coffee for me. I don't know what that is, but it sounds terrible. It's not Dawag, it must be awful. Mark Scope says, I thought Colin's London bus was brilliant.
Oh, cheers, mate. That's actually my most rivet counted build, believe it or not.
Yeah, but by stupid people that are just.
If you had seen the bus that used to go from Streatham through Tooting, it was blacker than the Ace of Spades. It was minging, mate. Oh, yeah. And that's what I modelled it on.
Lord Barkley III says, ration pack or army coffee kept you awake for weeks.
Yeah, and didn't let you go either.
Yeah. My favourite subject was technical drawing, says Ian Thompson.
I forgot about technical drawing.
Art and TD, I used to love them two subjects.
Yeah. 576 scale models, welcome. He says his favourite period to go back to is the 1930s. Lord Barkley says 1900 to 1920s.
I think the 30s and 40s, because we're both hat lovers, Fox. People might have noticed that.
God, yeah, go back and get some proper three-piece suits and trilby.
Proper double-breasted, handmade, tailored suits on. Nectar, handmade shoes.
Yeah, a proper suit, a proper wool suit, where a suit included a waistcoat and a hat.
Yeah.
So it was all coordinated. You had your hat, you had your suit. I'd love
even like the heat waves equivalent to the 1976, I think it was.
Yeah, but a heat wave was your granddad taking their collar off, wasn't it?
You've got to worry about what suit goes with Fox's hat, though, haven't you?
Not this hat. Thank you, man.
Tackles would be involved, Chris, wouldn't you? And perhaps chaps.
The only thing that goes with this hat is not a suit, but a horse.
I do take exception in chat at the moment, because Vincent's coming at Mr. Lost Model Making. He says, evening, Colin. And then he says, Fox and Ted.
Yeah,
don't forget, Chris. Appleman Nichols asked me if that was the bus that Reg Varney used to drive on the buses. Yeah, Route Master Long, mate, it was.
hang on, I've got to correct you there. He didn't drive a route master on the buses.
Oh, was it the short?
He wasn't a route master. Because because if you remember, it had electric opening front doors.
Oh, dang on, yeah. Route Master was on up off, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be somebody.
Wasn't that the Dennis then that they drove? Or the man?
Could have even been a man.
Fox, it's going to get worse soon. Someone's asking them about their tools.
Back, folks.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will Google it for us and tell us what.
Yeah, Warhammer.
Do you know what's worse than train spotting? Bus spotting. Dear God.
Someone asked them about their tools as well. They're probably going to start talking. Someone said, what was their best tool? So I'm sure they're going to talk about that for another 10 minutes.
Andy McLeish says, AMA, who is your favourite fictional character or person?
Who is your favourite fictional character or
person?
It has to be Batman. Yeah, the original Batman.
Which originally, the 1930s Batman.
Yeah, the original Batman that was very, very camp.
The TV edition Batman.
So not the original Batman. I don't know who my favourite character would be. There's so many of them. I'm gonna say Benjamin Sisko because he just whoops ass, kicks ass. He's the best captain of all Starfleet. Captain Sisko, love it. Although
I don't
then
really
again,
have a favourite, but
then again, Garak. I don't know. No, Ben Sisko because he kicks ass.
Vincent does say he didn't forget me. He just pressed the enter halfway through typing and then made it worse by forgetting me at the end. So.
Andy McLeish asks if Canardo is like an adult Howard the Duck. No, everybody in the Canardo books was animals. It was all animals. It was just, but it was written with violence and alcohol and film noir styling and it was a detective noir but with animals, and he was always drunk, and he was a coward. Anders Ericsson says his favourite comic was the Tintin books, or Tintin as they might say in that part of the world. Yeah, Tintin. Oh, that was a massive influence for me.
Tim Young has an AMA for Foxx especially. He says, what's your favourite railway line in the UK?
I don't know.
Vincent helps out by suggesting that his train simulator add-on collection is over 100 gigs by now. Trains can be worse than buses.
I tell you what, I tell you a nice railway line to do, and that's going up the west coast from Barra up to Whitehaven, Workington. That's a nice route to go if you ever want to do that on your train simulator. Stopping at all stations: Sellafield, Corkicle, Whitehaven, Bransty, Silloth, Workington, Carlisle.
Vincent, having released his Inner Nerd, has probably got that on his game, Ted.
Yeah, probably. I've got an answer for the bus. The green Luxton and District buses were Bristol low-deckers.
Oh, blimey.
Yep. There we are. That's the answer to what bus Reg Farney drove.
Frankie Ghost Hobbywood popped in and said a quick hi and bye, but that was ages ago, so sorry, Frankie. Hello, goodbye. I think we missed a lot of chat there, but it's quite moving quite quickly. Settled Carlisle obviously says Adster about the rail line.
Yeah, Settled Carlisle's a nice line as well. Often steam trains run on that line.
TK's model. TK is horrible because he says Foxx cake with or without Hagelslag.
You were talking about this earlier in a different chat, but I don't know what it is. What is it?
Well, our friend TK posted up a picture that he and his Mrs. TK had made these little cupcakes, and they look delicious. And I didn't have any of them because I'm not in the Netherlands near TK, so I was very unhappy that I was being given these photographs of cakes that I could not eat with my face.
Yeah. On that note as well, because of cakes and because of TK and things like that, it reminds me it was Skylar's birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday!
That's what
Skylar.
Reminded you.
Not my Skylar. TK's.
Yeah, I know. Yes, that's why we do the cakes. But then he said, to make it even worse, he said, I'm going to put some Hagelslag. And Hagelslag, if you don't know what it is, it's the Dutch sprinkles. It's like you get a box of Hagelslag. It's like a box of cornflake size, and it's just a box full of sprinkles. And they're just...
Yeah.
I was thinking it was going to be meat-based.
No. Yeah, Hagelslag, I love it.
Well, happy birthday to Skylar.
Yep, happy birthday, Skylar.
Happy birthday.
Not that you know.
Eric Graham says, model railway scenery, you rang. Eric likes his model railways.
And Vincent is saying, Ted, yeah, he's got the Carlisle route. He got the steam train pack for it for full realism.
Yeah, that'll be the Settled Carlisle, or probably won't go up the West Coast. I don't know.
And people mock me because I play Fallout 4 with my walking speed limited to actual walking speed, and I don't know. And that I play Skyrim too slow, and then they're all playing train simulators. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, well, my wife's been playing Skyrim today, and it's quite worrying watching her because she goes very, very slowly because she's frightened of the spiders that are going to be in front of her. So, yeah. I'd almost rather watch you pick up carrots than watch you do that.
I'll tell you what, though, when I'm playing Fallout, it's exactly the same. I'm that slow and I pick everything up. I've just cleared, it can take me an hour to clear a building. I love it. It's great.
Epo says he's got a question. Why are the instructions in detail upset so vague? The pictures give it away as well, mate.
Moving on to, or keeping on the subject of train lines, which I can agree with, Dexter's Crafter says his favourite train line is the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway.
Her favourite train line, Ted.
Yeah, that's especially when they run steam trains. Yeah, because they always run steam trains. What I do like about the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway is you can get on at Keighley and stay on it and go to all the way up to Haworth and back, and there and as many times as you want, because it's got a bar on it serving things or peculiar.
Who is the dexterous crafter, Ted?
Sorry,
Who's the dexterous crafter? Who is it?
Remind me.
Give me the answer.
Sorry, mate, you're on your pipe. We need volunteer.
The question cannot be what's the answer to the question.
Everyone's picture seems to have disappeared, so I'm hoping my internet isn't about to fall over.
No, we're still going. Yours might fall over, but I hope it doesn't because we'll be a bit back.
Exactly.
Where are we up to?
If my internet does fall over and everything goes bad, I shall try and get back as quickly as possible. So stay around and
TK
keep an eye on things.
Is breaking up, but
If we do fall over, head back to keep this page open, but also head back to the eModels YouTube homepage because if we start a new stream, it might be a brand new stream.
yeah, and even if saying he thinks it might just be that YouTube had a boohoo and a wibble. Quite a Dave moment.
At the same moment, my left eye is really painful and itchy. I don't know why, so I
Yeah,
apologize.
it's probably what happened to me yesterday because I tried a rare live stream yesterday. I set everything up, set everything off going, and the internet fell over.
Fox went all pixels and Ted has disappeared, says TK. Do you want to hear?
Everyone but me's gone a bit pixely at the moment, but it's working its way back up. So I'm just going to sit here quietly and hope it gets better.
Okay.
Yeah, you pressed that big red button that said turn the internet off, didn't you, Ted?
I used my hand. I haven't touched anything.
I thought Ted might have done it to avoid the question, but
Yeah.
Michael Jackerman says best job I ever had, signalman on the I can't read it, my eyes giving me some jip on the north. Sorry,
North Line Crabtree signal box 74 to 75 when he was 18. It's closed now due to London Bridge power box being replaced. It replaced, over 275 boxes.
Yeah, it's gone from all levers and bells and things like that to pressing buttons.
It's my
All
apologies.
right,
My eyes are stinging and I don't quite know why. I was struggling to read.
Got a bit of hay fever, mate.
No, I don't get hay fever, but my left eye is just really stingy. I might have to go and rinse my eyes out.
is it because you've just been poking yourself in the eye a lot?
Something in my eye, your finger.
Yeah.
James Chapman says, question for all. What kit would you like to be re-released from any year? Also, if it was a bad kit, what would you do to make it 10 times better for release?
Oh, for me, it would have to be a re-release of the Ioshima Mad Max V8 Interceptor because the prices that people want are extortionate.
For me, it would be the, I don't know if it was Revell period, but it was either Revell or AMT. Star Trek Deep Space Nine runabout kit, which is the only decent Star Trek kit that was ever made because it actually fit together well. But I would improve it by giving it an interior. It comes with clear windows and no interior. Long out of print, and they go for like 150 quid now on eBay, which is ridiculous.
I think I'd like to see the Wallet and Gromit Land Rover because you can't get any more. It's like hen's teeth. Yeah, the Land Rover you can't. Yeah, and improve it by putting a interior in that because it's just a bare shell. I think it's quite a neat little kit.
I haven't got any old kits that I want to see reissued. I've got so much in the stash and things to build already that I don't see an end to it. So, apart from, as someone mentioned earlier, the Gunstar from the last Starfighter would be great to see built, but I don't think it's ever been done, so it's not exactly reissuing it. But yeah, someone did say, Zadster said the Blake 7 Liberator, which would again be quite an interesting kit.
Philip Book says all the Matchbot kits, please, because they should. And PJ Carroll asks, have any of you guys built the Tamiya Fairy Swordfish?
No,
I don't know if it's 148th or 172nd. No. I must do a biplane at some point. I don't know if I do the Swordfish though, but I must do a biplane at some point.
And they're both saying, oh, sorry, go on.
I'm going to say it's a bit late to do a wing that wings one, isn't it, I suppose, but never mind.
Andy says, I'd love to see a Predator kit and improve it with modern tooling and more monster proportions.
Beyond Hope says, AMA question, honest guesses, how many kits do you have in your stash? How long would it take you to build them all?
I'm just trying to picture what's in the cupboard because I've always said that I don't have a stash, and then suddenly I turn around.
You have
a stash. Yeah, we're
I'm going to guess about 60 kits, I think. 60 to 70 kits.
I think I'm still in single figures. One,
Apart from those ones and that one and this one and that one.
3.
Yeah, I'm around
I've probably got about
between
20,
50 and 60.
and if I was to sit down and build them, it would probably take a few months. But the way I build kits very slowly, it's going to take me years as it is anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to sit down and build them, it probably take me the same, like months. But to sit down and build and film them, it'll take me years. So
Yeah, well, I think I've got about 7 kits, and knowing the way that I build kits, especially the last one, it'll take me about 10 years.
yeah, but one of those kits is also the Titanic kit,
Not
so
per
that's
kit,
like 20 other kits.
Yeah, that's not counting eModels kits.
Beyond hope, saying Jesus, we're all beginners, 500 plus, and always rising. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, I thought I'd never get above 20, but yeah.
I mean, I must have about 50 or 60, maybe 70 kits, but some of them are like really small little things. Like, Paul sent me the little nudie French man and woman. That's like kit.
Yeah, that's it. Small cars, small
Lots of little
planes, that sort of thing,
TK says 20 kits, 500 years to build. That's what having a baby does.
Yeah.
Stuart Tucker, welcome Stuart, says, question. He's got a big massive question mark at the start of his question, which is a good way to get our attention. He says, I'm a big believer in good coverage for paint. A roller never fails, but I'm looking for a mini set for my model painting. Is there such a thing? No, not really. But if you're painting with acrylics, the trick is to thin the paints just a little bit and build up the colour slowly.
Mm.
Use a bigger brush than you think.
Unless you mean covering large areas, well, that's what an airbrush is for.
Yeah, get yourself an airbrush, or even if it's a really big kit, a rattle can if you're that desperate.
Yeah.
The trick is if you're brush painting, is use the bigger brush. Think how big your brush needs to be, and then get a bigger brush and get a soft brush and work with slightly thinned coats.
Yeah. It's like the Titanic down here. You could have done this with an airbrush. You could have done it with a roller, but a rattle can. That's what you do with a rattle.
A roller will always leave a texture.
Yeah, you just think if you had a little number 2 brush, a little 3-0 brush, you'd be there forever.
Yeah. If you had a roller, you wouldn't be able to get a smooth coat with the roller because it would leave a texture as it rolls away from the paint. So I don't think anything like that exists. But yeah, it's all about airbrushing or just carefully brushing. If it's a big, massive aircraft, you want to airbrush it. Or rattle can. Just very quickly, I meant to say, I wanted to show off, I finished the thing I was working on. I finished my pink tank, my Hello Kitty tank. I got it out to show, and then we didn't do what we've been doing, but that's what I was doing last week. I finished my Hello Kitty tank, which is a gift for one of my friends, my friend George. It's a gift for him.
The thing is, you painted it pink, and now it's not pink.
It is. It's not pink on a live stream.
It's not as pink as it used to be.
Yeah, it was a bit brighter till I put loads of mud and dirt.
This is Foxx. He kind of got carried away.
I can't not do all the mud and dirt in the world. I'm quite pleased with the mud underneath. That came out quite well. It doesn't really come out on a webcam, though, unfortunately. But yes, I forgot. I meant to show you that earlier on.
Nevbo saying he's got 6 kits and 2 super detail sets up for both of them, and he's saying thanks to Vincent for helping him out with the aftermarket. Yeah.
Vincent says, Foxx, talking about great kits, I've been looking at that Venator class Star Destroyer, like you mentioned, seem to still find them at £100, and I discovered the green strawberry set, full length resin hanger bay. Were we talking about Star Destroyers? I have no memory of this conversation. Is the Venator, that's the bog stand, that's the generic Star Wars Star Destroyer, isn't it? I have no memory of this. With teeny landers and walkers. Well, that sounds cool.
Right, where are we at? Beyond Hope says he thinks they call that British RAF Desert Sand pink.
Yeah, it was bright to close, but then it got a bit dirty, mucky. Mama Foxx has just said bench and belly.
Bench and belly.
Yeah, we weren't.
It's too late for bench and belly
because we were doing the ask questions, but we're doing it now because I've said it out loud.
No, well, Mama Foxx says we should do bench and belly.
Belly, yeah.
We're doing it now because I said it.
We're not going to argue with Mama Foxx.
No,
that might have been Mama's Foxx AMA for everybody. If
Mama Foxx wants bench and belly, Mama Foxx is going to have.
If there's one thing I've learned in 48 years of life, it's don't argue with Mama Foxx.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you? And she's got her headphones on because she's laughing. I can hear her. So yeah. So what's on your bench? What have you been working on? And what's in your belly? What you had or having for your dinner? Tell us in the chat, and we'll do our best to.
I had roast chicken dinner. I had roast chicken dinner tonight. Yeah.
Same here, mate. Roast chicken with Yorkshire puds and stuffing and bangers.
Tonight, I made some noodles with meatballs.
And on the bench, I had him. Yeah, that's it. I've been painting him today. I've spent some time in the workshop today.
Why do I get the feeling he should have like a big floppy fish and he should be doing that little thing with?
Yeah.
Simon Payne says, evening, sorry all, I'm late. Just got back from hospital. Unfortunately, fell off a deck into a pond and broke my ankle. I thought I'd pop in and say hello for the last bit. Hope you're feeling better and take it easy.
Yeah. No, it's not the last bit. It's only the beginning because we're doing belly and bench, mate. You've missed nothing.
I don't know how you can fall into a pond though. That'd be, I don't know.
Oh no, I broke my ankle and I can't go anywhere and I'm sat in front of my bench permanently for the next 6 weeks. Yay! I get better soon, dude.
Stephen Hill Harris is saying Jamaican rum and coke and a packet of Twiglets.
Yeah. Peter Rogers says, shout out to the eModels team. Ordered some kits and bits here within days. Cool. They must be catching up then.
TK says Millennium Falcon and Belly. Well, Foxx doesn't want me to say that again.
Michael Jackman says, you remember last week he was talking about his compressor being leaky. He says he investigated this compressor, no leaks he could find. It's moved. Hang on. No. I hate when that happens.
Changed to my cheap Chinese airbrush, all okay. Something to do with my Meng Vermilion Bird airbrush using a hell of a lot of air, apparently.
Some airbrushes do need higher pressure than others. For example, my Neo is a low pressure airbrush. You can run it on a tiny little compressor and it'll be absolutely fine. Whereas my Iwata Revolution, which is down under there, wouldn't survive. This can run on a tiny compressor at 12, 10 psi. My Revolution wouldn't even get out of bed for that. So it does. Some airbrushes need a lot of high pressure and some don't need much pressure at all. So it does vary.
Paul Lyons says Billy is doner kebab.
Oh yes.
Yeah, did we see those pictures today in chat of doner kebab pizzas?
Oh yeah, George sent us that, didn't he?
Yeah, benches are 148. I'm taking that as 148 scale B17 with 15 sheets of photo etch.
Oh, why have I done this to myself?
Why?
Yes. Andy McLeish says bench sketch pad with diorama ideas for the Mustang car, belly, pasta bolognese.
Mm-hmm.
You did Stephen Hill Harris, didn't we?
Yep. PJ Carroll says buying. Oh no, that's right. That was going to mention belly there. Buying an airbrushing compressor on my lockdown journey into model making. Any of you guys got any recommendations? Yes. Go for your budget.
Yeah.
And just go for something decent. Don't go for a Chinese knockoff rubbish because you'll just. That's like learning to ride a bike with square wheels.
Yeah.
Have a look through.
Yeah. Get a compressor with a tank because once you bought it, you've got it.
Yeah. Just make sure the brush is gravity fed, so cup on top, and dual action, so it's got air control and paint control, or in this case, air control that far, paint control that far.
Yeah.
So dual action, gravity fed, and a compressor with the tank. Start off with what you can afford. Have a look through the eModels website. We'd normally say give them a call and they'll be able to advise you, but the phone line's off at the minute because they haven't got time to answer calls. But have a look at what, go through what you can afford. Everything on there will be good stuff. You can always look at upgrading the kit later on once you've got your confidence and you're happy that you're going to be doing airbrushing. I'd start off not too expensive because you might decide you don't like airbrushing. You don't want to spend 500 quid and suddenly find you don't want to do it. So start off, cheapy tips, have a look, get yourself a compressor and a brush. You can always upgrade the brush later on.
Mm-hmm. And also don't get too tied up with mixing paints and things like that. Make a start with some ready mixed paints, Viejo Air,
Model Air,
Model Air, and things like that. Yeah. Then you don't have to worry about mixing. You can just get straight on and spraying bits and pieces. Find some old bottles, even some old dinky cars and things like that. Yeah, spray them.
Slow moving cat,
Still buy, like I say, cheap model.
All right, I was practicing blue this week. So.
With the whole thinning thing, like Ted says, Viejo Model Air are pretty much mostly pre-thinned anyway, maybe a little tiny bit thinner. But don't worry about ratios for thinning. It's just make it as thin as skimmed milk. That's all you need to know. Because it's different for every paint, every brand, even different colours within the same brand of paint need different amounts of thinners. So just stick to skimmed milk consistency. That's the golden rule. Anything more complex than that, and you're just wasting your time. Dexterous Crafter says, Belly, chips, onion rings, and pizza with pepperoni, chicken and pulled pork, bench empty tonight. Been too busy helping Lewis get his new YouTube video sorted. And I missed out Osric 9000, I apologise, who says chicken jar, Frazee bench, 1700 scale Nimitz class aircraft carrier, and a lot of spilt glue. Somebody spilt glue, obviously.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, but it's been told off for it already. It's all fine.
Raging
Modeler, Belly, hot dogs, bench, Reaper Bones, Paladin, and a 40k Night Lords Lord Chaos Marine.
Cool. That's all Warhammer stuff.
Yeah, I hope the hot dogs are the cheap hot dogs with the cheap fried onions and mustard and tomato sauce.
Do you mean like hot dogs from a tin, Ted?
Hot dogs from a tin.
They got to come out of a tin. Yeah.
What was the brand? It's not Primula. It's Prince. Is it Prince's?
Yeah, it could be Prince's or something
like
that.
The cheapest, nastiest hot dogs, but we used to have them every Saturday as a kid.
Yeah, they're the best.
Athel Manickle says, bench and belly, porridge and blueberries and blood spattered. I'll start that again. Porridge and blueberries, pause. A blood spattered F70 Volvo long nose belonging to ADL Trucking from Wisconsin, which is obviously in the belly. Use your commas, folks. Tim Young says, belly, homemade chili and rice. It used a hot sauce called spontaneous combustion. I might regret that. Bench is the tropical filter BF 109 F2 144 scale. Our friend Paul, our friend Paul, sent me a little tiny pot of chili sauce called Regret. And yeah, you do. It's really nice, but literally, if you just open the lid and wave it near a sausage and put it back, that's too much. I've had it for 3 years. It's still not gone off. Can't get rid of it.
James Chapman says, belly, fish cakes and chips.
Oh, yeah.
Fish cake sandwich. A bit like, not as good as a fish finger sandwich, but yeah, it's
like a flat fish finger, isn't it?
Yeah. Afters, gummy, pint pot and Vimto. Candy floss, bench, just a few small Lego Mustangs and Porsche.
Oh. I just read it as Vimto candy floss bench. I'm like, there's a comma in there somewhere. I'm just missing it.
Yeah. Please improve your punctuation for a brief.
Then again, no, because it gives them a reason for us to trip up and read it badly. So that's probably why they're doing it.
Wayne Haywood's belly, cheese, and ham toasty on the bench. He's got a Bandai Sand Trooper that he's weathering with Tamiya Weathering Masters.
Awesome. Those Bandai Star Wars figures are so good. The Stormtrooper ones, because they're just molded in black and grey and white. You don't even need to paint them. You can just weather them, and they look fine. Yeah. They look great. I just point out, by the way, Colin, that whenever you read out a food, it sounds 10 times better in your accent. Like cheese and ham toasty.
Someone has developed an accent whenever I join the hangout, haven't they, mate?
I do. I pick up accents like a chameleon. Not like a chameleon. What's the thing that I don't know?
Yeah.
I'm like a minor bird. I just pick up people's.
I joined the hangout, and it's all right, the old China.
All right, mate. Yeah. I won't mind. It's probably a terrible accent I'm doing anyway. Jonathan Farrell says, belly, chicken curry, bench 135th 37 centimeter anti-tank pack 35 for my first diorama. Tell us about your diorama. Is it desert, European theatre? What is it?
I think for the 135 pack, you can actually buy a Tamiya diorama base for it. Whether he's doing that one, but you can get diorama bases for them. Phil Buck says bench a Grant Lee, yes, Billy Attack. Billy Rogan Josh Curry. Curry's popular on a Monday night.
Sarah Jane says fish fingers in the belly, good girl, and out of action with bursitis in the left shoulder. Sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
Here's up soon.
Peter Diamond, belly duck rolls on bench, nothing.
Duck rolls, yes, it does.
Only if you push it. Yeah.
And Derek says, go on, you're going to read it.
Hang about. How can Anders say that? Wait, what?
Go on, you read it out, Carl. You read it better than me.
Anders is saying belly, cheeseburger and fries for lunch. This evening, a sandwich with meatballs.
Oh, is it not diet day?
Benchy's painting the tools for the Panzer IV. No diet day. I think he should be exempt because he's on lockdown.
Yeah. Does that mean you've nearly finished the Panzer IV as well if you're on the tools? Is that the last bit?
Yeah. Hope you're using that toolkit that Ted was on about last week.
Yeah.
That paint set.
Can I point out, if you're going to break your diet day, cheeseburger and fries and a meatball sandwich, like, you're doing it right.
Right,
You're doing it right.
combo, isn't it?
If you're going to break
Yep.
a diet, break a diet. Simon Payne says, Belly, nothing. It's cooking now. Mini pizza. We need more information. Can't just say pizza.
He didn't. He said a mini pizza.
Yeah, but what's on it? We need the filthy details. You have to remember when we ask you this question, we don't really care about the bench. We're interested in the food. But we want
Oh,
the
yeah,
food.
full ingredients are obligatory.
Yeah, the bench bit is just because we have to do something model making in this show because it's an e-model show. So he says, Belly, cooking now mini pizza bench going to be lots now as not doing much else because of ankle. So someone give me a good suggestion that will last about 6 weeks. Ted will tell you the Titanic.
Yeah. That,
He says 6
that'll-
weeks, not
yeah,
6
that'll be a
years.
Good 6 weeks at least.
Ted will say the Titanic or the
Photo
U-boat.
etch.
Or you could do the submarine. That might take you about 7 weeks.
Yeah. The thing is, right, if you've got that much time, it's not necessarily a case of getting a big, massive, complicated kit that's a slow paint job. You could get just a normal kit, but just work on it really slowly and go really, really super detailed. Like get really, really, if you're building, say, a tank, just spend a whole day just doing chipping and a whole day just doing water stains and things like that.
Or why not add to a kit by trying your hand at scratch building something? Get some little pieces of card and paper and plastic. See what you can make for it.
Or
even make some stowage if you're doing a tank or something like that.
Or even, here's an idea. Why not? Because we all have our strength. We all have our little favourite corners. I like me Warhammers and me Gunplers. Ted likes his boats and his tanks. We all have things that we like doing and we'll happily fall up towards our little comfort zones. But there's always things that we won't do. I wouldn't go anywhere near a shiny car or a motorbike, for example. So if you've got all this time on your hands now that you've had your fall and you've got your boo-boo on your ankle, maybe try something that you've been putting off or not tried before because you've been like, oh, I couldn't do that. I don't want to do. Oh no. Like if you've never tried figure painting, pick up from eModels, pick up one of the Warhammer Start collecting sets with loads of little figures in it. Or if you've never done, say, aircraft, get one of the big. If you want to go real hardcore, get one of the big biplane kits with all rigging and antenna wire. Something that's beyond either what you think's beyond you or something that you've never done before that's totally out of your comfort zone. Because then you've got all this time, it'll be a challenge, and you might enjoy that.
Taxes your brain, doesn't it? Gives you a challenge. Gets the mojo back.
I mean, if you're just doing something you're familiar with and you're just doing it in more detail, it might work, but it's still just doing what you're familiar with. If you're doing something you've got no bearings about at all, like if I suddenly decided to do a big 1/24 scale biplane, I'd be like, it took me years because I have no experience. So that might be fun.
You should have kept that tank then, really, because you could have done that during the lockdown, couldn't you, mate?
How about no? Trust me, I was like, I'll make this tank. It looks brilliant.
Yeah.
How about no?
Yeah, you saw all them sprues and you're like, yeah, I've got a couple of them sat there and it's like,
yeah. I saw all them tracks and I'm like, GTFO. Bye.
Tony!
Anders says he's not nearly finished the Panzer IV. He's just varying the build. He's still got the turret to do yet.
Yeah.
Still going.
There's still loads of work to do in the turret.
Oh, can I meant to point out, by the way, I saw today, I was answering a question somewhere today and I happened to stumble across the Tamiya section on the eModels website. I didn't realise, I knew they had the 1/16 scale Abrams tank, which is insane. I didn't realise they've got a whole selection of 1/16 scale remote control Tamiya tanks.
Oh,
They've
really?
got the T32. They've got the KV2. You know the KV2 that's the tank body with the 65-foot tall box on the top?
Yeah.
The one that I did the little Meng Toon tank. They've got a remote control KV2.
Oh.
I think they've got a remote control Sherman, but it's not a US Sherman. It might be Belgian or something. I didn't realise they got a whole load of like 1/16 scale tank kits.
Yeah, just let me pack up the Titanic.
Yeah. Don't tell Mrs. Ted.
Yeah, Pete,
Pete's asking to do a tank.
Yeah, I've got this great idea, Pete. Never mind. Yeah. Where were we?
I have no idea.
Simon Payne. Belly nothing. It's cooking now. Mini pizza.
We've done that one.
We've done that one. Okay.
Yeah, we've done that one. Michael Jackerman says Belly KFC. Yay!
Yay.
He says.
Yeah, the KFC's
KFC's
open here in Barrow, but there's a
Sorry about that.
2-hour queue.
And Bench 132nd Phantom finished new project RMS Queen Elizabeth 1600 Airfix.
You didn't even notice I'd gone, did you?
I did notice there was a black screen there, but
My computer decided that Chrome had to be shut down for a very important reason, but I don't know what the reason.
I wonder why it gone quiet.
I resemble that remark.
it's true though. But yeah,
I'm still task managing stuff as we speak, actually, because my computer basically said something told me to close the program down, so I'm closing everything. Thanks. I'm like, brilliant. That's
Yeah, that's
just
helpful.
what didn't happen to me. Aries says, Belly, a nice cold beer, no bench, chilling in the hot tub while my Challenger 2 Blitz build video loads up. So, yeah, cool.
we'll be back in it. I'm just task managing the crap out of a load of stuff.
Angers Albert says Belly's beef schnitzels. And veg.
Schnitzel, yeah, that is richtig.
Bench is on 132nd Mini. What's that? Is that from Airfix? And 1700 Missouri from Tamiya Waterline and full PE? Or is that Frim he's written?
I don't know.
It could be a typo.
You're a typo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know that.
Nevbo, Belly spicy chicken pizza. Bench the Yamaha YZR M1 with super detail set.
Is that a motorbike
nice.
type device?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, sweet Nev. But I'm doing the big 1/4 scale Rossi bike. Same bike. But yeah, that is huge.
I've no idea where we're up to now. What did I miss while I was stuck in?
Not much. We're just going through more bellies and stuff and things.
Okay. Did somebody ask about respirators, masks?
Yeah, I put it down and was asking about respirators, but I think
there's been various answers and things, and
I think it's
that we don't know if he was talking about respirators, masks, or going out in public masks, or we don't know.
Right.
But
If
I think it was respirators for spray painting because he was asking about spray painting before.
No, yeah, if I would recommend the 3M 7000 series, 7500 series. That's why I use the half face.
Beyond Hope's telling me that YouTube is showing my channel as going live again. He's just posted a screen grab in the Boom Hut to show he's not going nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is, but I did have some trouble with the streaming software before we went live, so it might be that it glitched over to that, and I don't know.
I think it's about that time anyway. We called it a night as things seem to be starting to go wrong with we're losing Foxx and you going live.
Have I gone again? I'm still here, aren't I?
No, you're still there now.
Yeah. But
you can't get rid of me that easily.
Yeah.
I'm still task managing stuff. Don't go anywhere yet.
Yeah, just catching up on some of the closing sort of comments. And Anders said someday he'll be starting himself on Facebook and showing his pictures of his finished Panzerfaust. Yeah,
do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah,
do it. No reason not to. Start a YouTube channel. It's always a good laugh. Do it.
Yep. You can have one without the other. So if you just want to go onto YouTube, there's no problem with that. But it's good if you can run the two together. Where else? Graham McRobert, Billy Fish Supper again. You say North.
Redland says belly, boiled ham, carrots, and potatoes. Bench biologist putrefier. Oh yes. Did we find out what that pizza was? By the way, the tiny pizza.
Not I've noticed.
Oh, I need a Big Mac, says Killer Chief 187. As do we all, mate. As do we believe.
Mike, do have a nice
so say we all.
I found that I can't get deliveries from my local KFC, my local McDonald's, my local Burger King. None of them are doing it. It's like, oh.
You just have to move. You just have to move.
Up north, mate.
I'm having to rely on my local Chinese takeaway and the local Belgian bar, which happens to do food as well, bizarrely. Oh.
Anyway, it's come up to 10:30 that witching hour again. The time for us to finish the stream for the
important information. Simon Payne says the mini pizza was cheese, but added chicken, bacon, barbecue sauce, sweet corn, and extra cheese. Hope that's better. Yes, that's what we want. That's what we want. We don't care about the bench bit, just the belly bit.
Good. Anyway, as we say, time's running out for us now. Time to leave you all. Thank you very much. It's been an interesting night answering some questions. We've been quite taxing at times. We'll try and do this again sometime. There's always a good cause.
I think we should just do this every week because it's much less effort.
Yeah,
and much more interesting for the viewers.
we'll just leave it up to the audience to tell us what to do.
Yeah. Every
So,
show is an AMA show.
So we'll leave it till next week. But in the meantime, there may be me, there may be others. So we'll having our own private live streams and things like that throughout the week. So keep your eyes and ears open on YouTube for all of them. In the meantime, we do think that eModels is getting back to normal and processing orders a little bit faster. One or two comments in the comments, one or two quotes in the comments tonight that people have ordered one day and received the next. So things looks like they're getting back to normal.
Sorry, Ted, again. One very important announcement that I forgot to make. They just had a massive delivery of Humbrol this week. That is apparently they basically ordered all the Humbrol in the UK stock that was available. So if you're in the need for any Humbrol equipment and tools and paints, they've just basically had the entire UK stock delivered. And I'm not even joking. It's literally everything that was available. They just snapped it up. So, yes, if you've been waiting for any deliveries of stuff, that's all now in stock.
Yeah, and in answer to Graham McRobert, yeah, it's 1/4 scale, made by Model Space.
Yeah, right. Good.
Half an hour later, Ted's like, can we go now?
Ted's like, can we go now?
Right. Well, I'll just go and uncork a bottle just to check that I've got still aroma sensors and my smells working.
You've got to check for quality. You've got a quality test, Ted.
Yeah, I need to go and check that I can still smell and taste and things like that. So in the meantime, we'll leave you all for now, and we'll see you all again next week. Same time, same place, same bat channel. But until then, good night, everybody. Stay safe. And Foxx, what do we have to do? Wash your hands.
I was about to say slap it in your basket. wash your damn hands, you monsters.
Hint.
Slap it in your basket.
Slap it in your basket. So good night. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, and we'll see you all next week. Okay.
Wash your damn hands, you monsters.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Press that down button, Chris. Bye now.
Slap it in your basket.
Slap